Okay, guys, today we'll see a piece of grammar which is subject and object questions. Let's start to talk about what is this now. So we have a statement here. We have a statement. Ben called the bank. Now, in what tense is this sentence? Yes, you're right. It's in the past. No. Okay. And then we have who did the action. No? Who did the action? Yes, Ben. Ben is the subject. No? And then we have who, no, or what received this action? The bank, of course. Yes, so this is subject and object questions. They are questions, but they are formed differently depending on whether they are asking who or what did an action, the subject, Ben, or who or what received an action, the bank. Okay, let's continue. Now it's time to talk about object questions. Object questions ask who received an action. The question word is the object of the question. Yes, they usually use the auxiliary verb do, no? Or other auxiliaries. Example. No, Ben called the bank. No? Yes. So the question is, who did Ben call? No? The bank. Okay. That is the object question. Then we have subject questions. Okay. In this case, we ask who did an action. No? And the question word is the subject of the main verb. They do not use the auxiliary verb do. For example, Ben called the bank. So we replace Ben for the question word who. So who called the bank? You see, Ben. Okay. But then let's start by what is a subject? What's the subject? Okay. Let's see this sentence. The subject is the person or thing that performs the action. No? In this example, I love you. No? I am the person who has these feelings. I am the person who has these feelings. So I am the subject. Okay. In the second example, Sarah has read this book. So we have Sarah. She is the person who has read that book. So she is the subject. Smoking causes cancer. So in this example, the subject is smoking. This is the action that causes cancer. Smoking is the subject. Another example, last night her boyfriend called her. So in this example, her boyfriend, he is the person who called her. So he is the subject. Okay, so let's recognize the subject in every sentences that you read. Okay, now let's see who and what. Let's talk about the object. The object is the person or thing that received the action. In the first example, I loved you. It is you who I love. So you is the object. If Sarah has read this book, what has Sarah read? This book is the object. And smoking causes cancer. So what does smoking cause? Cancer. Cancer is the object. Then in the next example, example number 4, we have last night her boyfriend called her. So who did he call? he called her. No, her is the object. No, so pay attention to the object pronouns. No, object pronouns: her, him, them, no, us. Okay. Now let's talk about subject questions. In subject questions, we focus on the doer, the maker or the actor, no? And we have this structure: question word, the main verb, and the object. I loved you. What is the question? Who? Who loves you? In the next example, Sarah has read this book. So we have Sarah, so who has read this book. Number 3, smoking causes cancer. So smoking is not a person, so we say what, no? What causes cancer? And then her boyfriend called her. So we have a person, no? So who called her? As you could see, we keep the same tense, no? I love you is in present simple, so the question is in present simple, no? Yes, but in singular, of course. Who, no, singular, loves you. Okay, then in the second example we have the present perfect, so the question is in present perfect. In the third example we have present simple, so the question is in present simple. And then in the example number 4 we have the tense, the past simple, and the question is in past simple. Now, how do you know this? Because of the main verb, no? It's in the forms, different forms, no? Third person form in number 1. In number 2 you have the past participle form. In number 3 you have the third person form, and in number 4 you have the past simple form of the verb. Okay, and what you do is that you replace, no? I for who, no? Yes, and Sarah for who, no? Smoking for what, and her boyfriend for who. So normally you replace the subject by who or what, no? In the case of number 1, you change the verb, no? Because who, you're talking about only one person, so who loves you. So then the form of the verb changes. Okay, so let's check here. Who or what performs the action, and then you have the verb, the action verb, no? And then the objects. Yes. So who writes a book? No? Who eats a hamburger? Who loves Susan? Who swims, no, a lot? Okay. So in the example, the pool opens. What opens? No? The tower is big. What is big? Okay. Now let's look at object questions. We want to know about the receiver, no? So the most important thing here is the object. So the construction is question word, auxiliary verb, subject, and main verb. In the first example, I love you, then the question word is who. Who do I love? Who do I love? In the second example, we have this book, so we want to know about this book. So what has Sarah read? Smoking causes cancer, so we want to know about cancer. So what does smoking cause? And in the last one, in number 4, we want to know about her. So who did her boyfriend call? Who did her boyfriend call? Her. Okay, so this is about object questions. So you have now different possibilities. No? In object questions, you have more question words to use. You can use when, no? Where, yes, how, also which, how long, no? And remember, we have different auxiliaries. We have do and did, yes. We also have the auxiliary be in the past form, was and were, or in the present is are. You also have the auxiliary have or has for present for perfect tenses, and you also have some modal verbs like will, can, or other modal verbs. Okay, then you have the noun, and then the verb and the complement. So this is. Okay, now to sum up, we have object questions, no? When we want to know about the receiver. So who do I love? No? And then you have the subject questions when we focus on the doer, the maker, or actor. No? And the construction is different. Question word, main verb, and object. Who has read this book? Okay, now it's time to practice a little bit. Let's do number 1. Tom works in a bank. So we want to know about the object, the bank. Let's formulate an object question. So first, bank is a place, no? So we say where, okay. And then the tense is in present simple, and we're talking about Tom. So where does Tom work? Excellent. Number 2. Anna lives with her parents. So again, we're talking about the object, no? With her parents. So this is an object we replace with who, no? And we're talking about Anna, so we use the auxiliary verb does, no? So who does Anna live with? Then in number 3, again, we talk about the object, no? And we formulate an object question. What did Jack break? In number 4, we talk about the subject. Someone is following us. So let's formulate a subject question with who. Who is following us? Then in number 5, you have a new car. A new car is the object. So you formulate an object question. In example number 5, we have the new car. Okay, so what are they going to buy? No? Yes. And in number 6, a jumper is the object. So we formulate an object question with what? What did Tom buy yesterday? And in number 7, you have the same sentence, but now we focus on yesterday. No? The question word change with when. So when did Tom buy a jumper? Okay.